Ladies, gentlemen, and Tom Sox fans alike, welcome to Willie T. Barnett Field for your Tom Sox matchup against the Harrisonburg Turks here at home. The Tom Sox play the first game of the doubleheader. Right now, we'll get you a second game, not with us though, but with me is the guy that apparently I can't get away from, Tucker Myers. Tucker, Tom Sox are on a 4-game win streak all the way after dropping like 5 of the last 6 that they played before then, and I guess some can say the Tom Sox are hot right now. Well, what was the change in your estimation that kind of changed the tide for this win streak?
Yeah, for sure, Joe. Don't sound so enthused to be calling it with me, first off. But other than that, I mean, Tom Sox, like you mentioned, dropping so many of those games after going high. And, a couple of those games got postponed, and that kind of threw off momentum a little bit. But now, they got their second game against Riverbrands postponed, and ever since then they've been rolling. And a lot of that has to do with just simply getting on base. They're taking more walks, they're being more disciplined at the plate, and they're getting base hits. Looking at yesterday's game, they had 18 hits, and they routed the Stanton Braves. And, against the Harrisonburg Turks, when they knocked them off for the first time at Veterans Memorial Park, they had double-digit hits. They just got to get back on base. They got to get the bats rolling, and that's been huge for them. And against the River Bandits and Turks in those 2 games that they dropped in shutouts, they only had 6 combined hits. And, since then, they've got the bats going, and the teams have been winning more.
Yep. Offensive explosion, the story for the win streaks, but as always at home, the Tom Sox will start on defense, and their lineup will look like this. Bobby Olson takes the mound. Catching him will be Calvin Alexander. From first, Cole Wagner. Second, Galvin Abrams. Shortstop, Kyle Edwards. Third base, Brody Moss. And then from left to right in the outfield, Matthew Prevesk, Trey Younger, and Christian Martin. As we take a look at the lineup for the Turks, starting off will be Sam Schnurr, Mitch Ferris, Jalen Lee for this inning, if it's a 1-2-3, which hopefully the Tom Sox will get. And then following them is Michael Rosario, Christian Ficca, TJ Williams, Casey Smith, Jake Stadler, and to top it off, Matthew Mamadis. As we're about to get ready, the left-handed batter in Sam Schnurr is ready to take the first pitch from Bobby Olson, and actually Olson's having a little bit of a chat with Alexander before the game, a little bit of a handshake to get out as Schnurr was getting into the batter's box, and we're about to get underway here with 2 of the top 3 teams in the Valley League within 2 games of each other. As now Olson dishes the first one right down the middle, and he'll start off strike 1. Schnurr hovering over the plate. Olson working quickly, already dishes. Outside with a check swing from Schnurr. Count goes to 1-1. Turks leading the Valley League South. 1-1. Swung on and missed. Got him behind in the count. 1-2. Tom Sox only 2 games behind. Waynesboro Generals are in the middle. The 1-2. Swung on and taking back to Alexander for the first out. Struck out Schnurr. And now there's 1 out on the board for Mitch Ferris.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby, for the season, that's his 13th strike on the season. He's walked 12 batters, so he's got to get the control down. He's got to work the counts a little bit better, and that's a great start for him right there.
As the first pitch to Ferris hits the inside black for another strike. Olson looks like he's taking command early.
Yeah, it looks a lot more composed so far. We'll see if he can keep it going, though.
Oh, no, taken into right field, but Matthew Prevesk right there for it for the second out. Good contact on that from Ferris, but just right to Matthew Prevesk out and left.
Looked like for a second it might have dropped, but it did keep going in the wind, and then it was easily handled by Prevesk there.
Great play from a consistent defensive team that the Tom Sox have been all season. A little bit hiccups in that losing streak, but now stepping up the bat is Jalen Lee. First pitch. Hits the inside black for another strike. Just commanding the mound right now. Working very quickly as he's already ready for the 0-1. Right down the middle and cracked just foul down the third base line. Count moves to 0-2. This is exactly what you want from the Tom Sox, commanding a 4-game win streak all on the road, come back home, and this is the start that you get defensively.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get underneath you guys again to get the wins at home now. I mean, like you said, 4-game win streak on the road. I mean, and we saw a different team, so let's see if we can get that same team that's been rolling at home.
Lee, the first right-handed batter. 1-2, almost hits him. But they're going to say that it got through without contact, 1-2. Looked like it got away from Olsen. I don't know if he really wanted to put it there, but he's already ready for the 1-2 delivery. It was low and outside, 2-2. Good job by Alexander to stay in front of that one. It looked like it almost hit the dirt. Also working quickly again, the 2-2. Down the middle and got him out for the third out. 1, 2, 3, and as quick as that, we head to the bottom of the first. Your score is scoreless right now. This is Tom Sox baseball. Welcome back to Charlottesville High School. For the bottom of the first inning, the Tom Sox were able to put 3 up and 3 down to start off the game. Really commanding streak by Bobby Olsen, but they step up to offense. But we'll take a look at the Turks defense first. Stepping up on the mound is Matthew Kleinfelter. Catching him will be Jake Stadler. At first, Michael Rosario. Second will be Matthew Mamadis. Shortstop, Casey Smith. Third, Christian Ficca. And then from left to right in the outfield, Jalen Lee, Sam Schnurr, and TJ Williams. Stepping up to the plate first for the Tom Sox is a little bit getting in the home run race in the Valley League South. Christian Martin coming back up. Designated hitter Carter Cunningham. After him, Cole Wagner, Calvin Alexander, Trey Younger, Matthew Prevesk, Brody Moss, Gavin Abrams, and then to finish it off, veteran Kyle Edwards. And Tucker, you mentioned it in the top half of the inning that the story to the win streak was offensive explosion and early. So hopefully they can get something rolling here as Christian Martin steps up the plate.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I love the top three, as I've mentioned in the past, which is using Martin, Cunningham, and Wagner to start off. You're going to get on base early, get some momentum early for the team. They desperately need it. And, if they don't get the hits on the board, they don't score runs. So, but using Martin, Cunningham, and Wagner as your top three batters, can't get much better than that for the team.
As the first delivery from Kleinfelter taken back swinging against Christian Martin, and we'll start off with a strike, 0-1. Usually Carter Cunningham is behind Cole Wagner in the lineup in the top three, but Cunningham in front as the 0-1 goes low and inside, 1-1.
Cunningham has typically been he's been the fourth batter in that lineup, but Satchel Norman is usually second. Obviously, right now Calvin Alexander starting today. Satchel will not be in the lineup for the Sox.
1-1 taken mid away, another ball. 2-1 is the count now, and Satchel Norman taken in the 15th round to the Milwaukee Brewers. So congratulations to him as the 2-1 comes in, hit right to center field, traveling back, but it does look like Schnurr's going to be under that. Actually, no, it's off the wall as now Christian Martin headed to third, and the close throw, but the throw is not on target as Christian Martin starts off the offensive day for the Tom Sox with a great triple off the center field wall. I thought that almost went over, but it did look like Sam Schnurr was traveling out, but such a great contact from Christian Martin, and now the Tom Sox offense looks to get started early.
Yeah, Schnurr looked like he was underneath that ball the entire way until he got to the fence. It looked like he didn't really know exactly where he was out in the field, and the ball just bounced at the top of the fence where he couldn't make the play.
Carter Cunningham stands up to bat now, the power hitter for the Tom Sox. First delivery is smacked back to center field, but that one's going to be fielded by Sam Schnurr, but that's not before Christian Martin tags from third, and the Tom Sox get off to an early 1-0 lead.
I mean, realistically, couldn't have asked for a much better start for his team. I mean, almost get a home run with Christian Martin and then another deep shot center field to bring Martin home for the first run of the day. Schnurr got a little bit of revenge there, I guess, because he got the out, but at the end of the day, he still gave up that run. So,
of course, as Cole Wagner, the RBI king of the Tom Sox, step up, and we've been watching that RBI race the entire season as the first delivery catches the inside black 0-1. And right now, it usually was Joe De Los Santos for the Braves that was leading, but now Seaver King not in the lineup for the first game for the Turks, but he's overstepped him for 29. Cole Wagner is 22 on the season as the 0-1 comes in, hit right back to center, and that one's going to drop for a single for Cole Wagner, and I guess you could say the Sox are hot.
I mean, for sure. I mean, got a single, and now you got a triple there. And Cole Wagner's been hot this entire season. I mean, he's gotten on base in every single game for the Sox.
As Cole Wagner continues to make history, as again, that's now the 28th game in a row that he's also been here, has gotten on base every game. So the streak stays alive. Such a great player. And now stepping up the bat is Calvin Alexander as the first delivery goes low, 1-0. Cole Wagner now is in the sole possession of the second longest streak in Tom Sox history for multiple games in a row on base.
I mean, we saw in the beginning of the season, I mean, when this Tom Sox team was struggling, then you got Cole Wagner to come in, and then the Sox started rolling a lot more on offense and put up runs on the board.
Alexander tried to get going as the 1-0 steps into the outside black for 1-1. Kleinfelter already ready for the third delivery. Down the middle, but he's going to say outside. 2-1. We mentioned Satchel Norman getting drafted. The Turks had their own player drafted, injured Nick Zona. As now the 2-1 is taken straight up. Under it is Mamadis for the second out of the inning as Trey Younger is stepping up to the plate. Alexander trying to fill that role that Satchel Norman took all season long. He showed up a little bit later, but once he stepped in was a vital piece, and obviously the Brewers also agreed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both from Florida Southwestern, so that's a cool thing for those guys. And then, you know, Calvin was also hot against the Strasburg Express. And then, you know, last game against the Braves, he hit his first homer of the year. So he's been huge already to replace Satchel, if need be.
First delivery to Younger is outside, 1-0. Second one is as well. Now Kleinfelter is behind in the count. Just a difference in command from the mound. Kleinfelter looks like he's trying to find a groove, and this Tom Sox offense is streaking. Now the delivery goes, taken back to center field. We're making Schnurr do work as another single drops into center field for the Tom Sox. And now they have two on.
Yeah, now you're Kleinfelter. You have to be kind of feeling some pressure, even though with two outs in this inning, you already give up the run. You've already seen that these guys can hit it back towards the fence, and you know, runner on first and second, it's kind of in a dangerous spot for him.
Of course, and now we step into the speed contact zone of the Tom Sox lineup. The front was the power, the middle was the fast, and now we're starting to creep into the contact players. Matthew Pervez steps up to the plate, takes the first one swinging.
Left fielder from Florida,
0-1.
Matthew Pervez.
Tom Sox just look like they're raring on all sides right now. As now you get a 319 batter stepping up with 2 on, trying to get more than 1. On 1, taken back, another one to center field. This one streaking, but Schnurr is able to get under it and put the Tom Sox away, but not before they were able to get 1 across the board on a sacrifice fly from Carter Cunningham, bringing home Christian Martin. As we head into the 2nd inning, Tom Sox lead 1-0. This is Tom Sox
The score
baseball.
after 1 inning is a 1.
Welcome back to Willie T. Barnett Field. Tom Sox able to get 1 on the board in the bottom of the 1st as we head to the top of the 2nd. As the Tom Sox were able to get a 1-2-3 inning in the 1st, as Michael Rosario will step up
Batting first
to
for
the
the
plate.
Turks,
Another lefty batter
center
for the
fielder,
Turks.
Sam Schnurr.
Olsen obviously staying on the mound for the 1st delivery. Down the middle and taken, but right there is Gavin Abrams at 2nd to put him out. And the Tom Sox are able to get 4 batters up and 4 batters down in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, as we've talked about before, I mean, Bobby has struggled in a lot of games to get the control going, to get guys out, instead of just trying to put them on base through walks. And, you know, we're seeing now four batters up, 4 batters down. He's been hot so far.
Yep. It's right now Christian Ficca will step up to plate, takes the first pitch and fouls it off towards the parking lot here at Charlottesville High School. 0-1 with 1 away. Olsen still working quick as the 0-1 delivery goes inside. Count matched at 1. Because right now, we mentioned Rosario getting out, but he leads the Valley League South in batting average, overtook Cole Wagner, as now the 3rd delivery is down and away. Count moves to 2-1. Cole Wagner at 351 currently. He held that for about 2.5 to 3 weeks, as now Rosario steps up, as now the 2-1 is up the elevator shaft, as Luke Nat-Carney likes to say, but right under it is Brody Moss, and that'll be 5 up, 5 down, but in this inning, 2 up, 2 down, as now TJ Williams steps up to plate.
Yeah, just the spots that Bobby is able to put these balls in right now is just making it life tough on the Turks. I mean, we saw the 2 strikeouts in the beginning. He's obviously not doing it right now because the Turks are trying to get hits early in these counts and not try to get behind them now. But, I mean, now he's still playing in good spots so he can't really get underneath them.
First delivery to Williams is inside and away, and yet Olsen just looks like he has control at the mound right now. And Kleinfelter on the other side seems like he's trying to find it. The 1-0 taken fair as Brody Moss is able to get under it and get out. Williams is now another 3 up, 3 down inning from the Tom Sox as they command their 1-0 lead early as they look to put more runs on the board. This is Tom Sox baseball.
batting now for the
Welcome back
Tom
to Willie
Sox.
T. Barnett Field as
Third
Brody
baseman,
Moss steps
from
up to the
Auburn.
plate for the Tom Sox in the bottom of the second. Score reads 1-0 as the Sox were able to get a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the first, and now they look to extend their early lead against the Turks and Matthew Kleinfelter. Kleinfelter works slower than Olsen, but he's able to sit out the first one right down the middle as Brody will take the first pitch.
I mean, he does pitch slower than Olsen so far that we've seen, but I mean, also could be trying to get momentum going for him, trying to put himself in a good position, trying to, think about those pitches. Olsen right now is just rolling, so I mean, he's just going.
Dirty curveball steps in right down the middle again, and 0-2. Now he looks like he has control.
Yeah, right now it's up 0-2, and just needs to get back in focus. First inning's always kind of tough for us guys, but once you get in a rhythm, you can start going.
Kleinfelter ready for the 0-2 delivery. Taken down into the dirt on the inside portion of the batter's box, and then moves the count to 1-2.
Yeah, Kleinfelter was not happy with that pitch, what it looked like. I mean, it looked like it might have slipped out of his hand, obviously in the dirt, and he just did pirouette on the mound.
I mean, you figure that with an 0-2 count, you get something to chase, but it's already ready for the 1-2, and that's up and away. Almost made Stadler step up and have to move away for that one, but obviously no one on base, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But Brody Moss not fooled. Now Kleinfelter's out there for the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed and puts down Brody Moss, trying to get something rolling. 2 strikes taken, and then the third one not able to get contact on it, as now there's one away.
Poor Kleinfelter, though. I mean, that was good composure right there. You're up 0-2 in the count, and then it's even at 2-2, and you're starting to lose control. And that last fastball was a little bit high, but he still fired it in, and Moss chased it.
Stepping up now is Gavin Abrams in the back half of this Tom Sox offense. Looks like Kleinfelter has control on it. That one hit, popped up, foul territory, but able to get under it is Jalen Lee. And first pitch, second out down by Gavin Abrams, as now Kyle Edwards steps up to bat with 2 away. Got good contact on that, but just couldn't get it to drop in foul territory, or foul territory for that matter. Now another right-handed batter in Kyle Edwards.
Now batting
Steps
from
up to bat.
ODU,
We have a lot
shortstop
of
and best
lefties on the
hitter
Tom
the
Sox
team, Kyle Edwards.
lineup all season, but the righties are taking the back half of the lineup as the first delivery goes right on the outside, black in the middle portion of the strike zone. 0-1 is the count. Newly shaved Kyle Edwards joins GM Mikey P for the ball straight, as that one's taken to left center, headed back, and that's going to drop near the wall as he's going to get on base with a double to send the top of the Tom Sox lineup. Really great contact from Kyle Edwards, and now the Tom Sox have something rolling with 2 away.
Yeah, what a shot there. I mean, if you look at Lee in left field, I mean, he was all behind him. I mean, he was further up in the outfield, and he had to run all the way back. And he knew he wasn't going to be able to get to it in time.
Such a great contact, hit the bottom portion of the wall and bounced up. Obviously, no one was able to get to it in time, as it's hit into the gap near the scoreboard out in left center of Willie T. Barnett Field. As now we take you back to the top of the lineup with Christian Martin hovering over the plate and ready for his first delivery of his second at bat. Now a timeout is taken. I don't know if it's from Martin or the defense. Bauer kind of pointed over to the first baseline, but he's ready for his first delivery as that goes low, 1-0.
I mean, you saw Martin get a lot of contact in his first at bat with that triple that almost went over the fence. I mean, if he could do it something similar again, I mean, that's going to bring Edwards home.
Kleinfelter ready for the 1-0. Trying to get the last out of the inning and fakes a throw back to second. It will not give you the delivery. Now Martin steps up again. Kleinfelter working a a little bit quickly as he's ready. That steps the inside of the plate, not able to get over it as the count moves to 2-0. Feinfelter working quickly again. Looks like he's found a groove as that one steps outside 3-0, and it looks like he was having more control over his pitches when he was working a little bit slower, but now the quicker pace has got him behind 3-0.
Yeah, now he's starting to lose some confidence there with after the Edwards double, now down 3-0 against Martin and taking the walk there.
3-0 back. Christian Martin gets on base, takes his stroll over to first and puts up the power hitter and Carter Cunningham. We mentioned the batting average leaders in the South, and we mentioned all season that it's just because Carter Cunningham isn't able to be eligible for that line, and for that matter, Christian Martin isn't either, as both of them are stouting over 400, with Carter being at 417 as now he steps up to plate. His first delivery goes outside 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, we just need a base hit with these two guys now at the top of the lineup for them. I mean, they were able just to put the ball in places in the outfield that no one could get to, and it's been huge for the Sox.
You'd assume anything that reaches the grass in the outfield is going to score. Kyle Edwards, as the second delivery slips the outside black, just makes it in there, as now the count moves to 1-1 with 2 away. 2-1. Carter, the tall batter, a la Mike Trout, trying to see if he can have that production for the Tom Sox, is now the third delivery swing and is taken straight down in a, I don't know if he fouled it or the ball just got away in front of Jake Stadler, but nevertheless, count moves to 1-2 as Carter now takes a little trot around the dirt around home plate. I think it might have hit his ankle maybe as he takes a little bit of a walk, and now he's ready for his fourth delivery. Rocking blue helmet, black top bat. Now a timeout taken by Carter. I didn't see from my angle. Did you see if that hit his ankle?
I was not able to see it, no, but I mean, he must have, because I mean, the way he just walked out of the batter's box there.
1-2 taken, shallow center. 3 of them shipping out, but Casey Smith able to get under it, and now that's going to end the inning. Sox leave 2 on and not able to get another run, but still tout a 1-0 lead headed into the third inning. This is Tom Sox baseball. Welcome back to Charlottesville High School as we get ready for the start of the third inning. Tom Sox able to get 2 3-up and 3-down innings. As now Casey Smith, who put out the last out of last inning, steps up to plate. Right-handed batter against Bobby Olson, who stays out on the mound. First delivery right down the middle, fastball for a strike, 1-0-1. A little hiccup on the scoreboard there. Olsen already ready for the second delivery, and that's hit straight to Kyle Edwards, who's able to get the first out. Now that is the 7th straight out for the Tom Sox. No one has stepped on base for the Turks yet. And the Sox have a 1-0 lead now with Jake Stadler stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Turks as well. I mean, in that first inning, they were kind of, like, it looked like they were sitting on more pitches than they are now. Now it looks like they're just kind of swinging a bunch of them, trying to not get behind these counts against Bobby Olsen.
Olsen working quickly as always, and that hits the outside. Black quickly's working so well for him right now, as now the count moves to 1-0, 0-1. Kind of got karma for calling out our scoreboard lineup as I mess up, but the second one is fouled straight down, 0-2. Just the poise of Olsen right now is something to commemorate. One of the best pitchers on the Tom Sox roster. ERA of just 2.03 is now he's ready for the third delivery. Hit down the middle and got him swinging. That's the 8th out in a row, as now there's 2 down for the top of the third.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, the way, just his composure, his focus right now, I mean, 3 strikes, and then, I mean, right there, no balls, and just getting out of those, getting out of his batters quickly.
As now Matthew Mamadis steps up to plate. Olsen working extremely quickly as that one's taken back. Another one bright to Kyle Edwards as he's able to put out the 9th batter in a row. Full lineup for the Turks have been up and down as the Tom Sox look to get something else rolling in the third inning to put more of a lead up on the leader in the Valley League South. This is Tom Sox Baseball.
Batting for your
bring
Tom
you back up
Sox,
again.
number 20,
Back up.
first baseman from
Cole
Georgia,
Wagner.
Cole Wagner.
The RBI king of the Tom Sox steps up to try to get something rolling here in the second inning for the Tom Sox, as Turks haven't got anything rolling against Bobby Olsen, but obviously with 1-0 up on the board, Tom Sox were able to get a lot off of Kleinfelter.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Kleinfelter, he's felt the pressure because of Bobby Olsen, who's just setting down every single Turk batter so far, and he's trying to do the same, and he's just rushing himself as well. It seems like he's not getting the control he needs.
First delivery to Cole Wagner. Cole just didn't get the timing down on the fastball, as now sees himself behind in the count, 0-1. Kleinfelter working a little bit slower again, trying to get that consistency back, but that did not work, as that's in the dirt and inside, as now it's matched at 1. Just looking like he hasn't felt like he was in a groove at all. He had a little stint with 2 batters up in the second, but never really got behind himself. as that one goes in the dirt. The 1-1. Stand on the inside, Black. 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned about like him just not having the kind of control he needs. I mean, the Tom Sox has also done well in putting pressure on him, just getting those base hits like with 2 outs and getting guys on base, getting guys on first and second, that kind of thing.
1-2. Sees Cole Wagner step back to the dugout as he just never got the timing on Kleinfelter's fastballs. As now there's 1 down for Calvin Alexander, the new addition to the consistent lineup after Norman obviously leaves the team after he gets drafted by the Brewers, but Cole just never got the timing down on Kleinfelter's pitches. First delivery to Alexander right down the middle. Seemed like a splitter, and now he's up in this count 0-1. Maybe he's found something now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Harrisburg's got to hope for, but I mean, we've seen it before where he's been able to sit down the first 2 batters and struggle for the rest of the inning.
Now the second delivery is hit down foul towards the Turks dugout. And now Alexander finds himself behind 0-2. Middle line not seeing the production that they had in the first inning, but you never know with this Tom Sox offense. When they're hot, they can streak at any minute. I mean, we saw the last time we scored, they scored 11 runs in 1 inning as the 0-2 is just down and out. Now he gets 1 in the ball category, 1-2. As up and down as this season's been, it just seems like it's tied together wins with tied together losses as the 1-2 comes away. As Alexander just never got timing. I like Cole, and now there's 2 down. Never made it past the plate. 2 away for Kleinfelter and the Turks. For Trey Younger stepping up to bat now.
Yeah, Kleinfelter now working on 2 strikeouts to start this bottom half of the third. You know, maybe this could be the rhythm he needs. Maybe this could be the momentum shifter for him on the mound.
Trey Younger, the fast piece. Base running for the Tom Sox. Pinch running threat, but right now steps up to play for his first delivery. Taken right at, what a play from Matthew Mamadis at second. I thought that it was definitely getting in to right field, but he's able to get that Byron Jones 41-inch vertical to get up there and take out Trey Younger, as now the Tom Sox have to step back on the field after 3 up and 3 down. Turks trying to string something together in the 4th inning now. This is Tom Sox baseball. Welcome back to Charlottesville High School for the start of the 4th inning, as the Turks were able to get 3 up and 3 down for the first time in the game for the Tom Sox offense, but they have yet to get anything rolling against Bobby Olson, and the quick nature of his pitching style. As now we go to the top of their lineup. Sam Schnurr steps up to bat, the left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher of Olsen, as the first delivery check swung, but that's
Now
going to be
batting
low
center
in the
fielder
dirt
number 22, Sam
as the
Schnare.
count moves to 1-0. Olsen again working quickly. Sits down, and it's taken back to the front of the Tom Sox dugout. And now the count's matched at 1. Olsen again working quickly, 1-1. And that goes off the hip of Sam Schnare, as now the Turks get their first base runner off of an errant pitch from Bobby
Now batting for
Olsen. The
Turks,
first one that he
designated
didn't
hitter
seem like he
number
had
13,
control on him.
Mitch
Yeah, I mean,
Harris.
that was really, for the entire game, Bobby's had a lot of success, a lot of control pitching so far. You know, for the Turks, obviously you probably want like a base hit there, but I mean, a hit by pitch, I mean, that puts a runner on base. It could like spark something for them.
Is now stepping up to plate for his first is Mitch Ferris, and that one's taken to the gap in center right field. Right under it is Christian Martin trying to throw it in to Kyle Edwards, and taken back
Now up for the
is
Turks.
Snare
number
gets all the
6,
way from
left
first to
fielder,
third. Runners on the
Jay
corners
Lee.
now for the Turks as they try to match the first inning from the Tom Sox offense. 0 outs, 2 men on for Jalen Lee now.
Yeah, I mean, you also talk about Seaver King being the RBI king, get it, of the Valley Baseball League. But I mean, for the Turks, I mean, you got Ferris and Lee also up there in the top, that round out the top 4 for the team.
That one's up and inside, but Lee takes it back swinging. Count goes to 0-1, and Seaver King, we mentioned he might get into the second game. He's actually injured, but he is in practice gear in the dugout, so might make his return, as the 1-0 goes right down the middle. 0-2 now to Jalen Lee, as he kind of taking it back and looking over to his third base coach to either get a sign or show a little bit of frustration with that pitch, but that was right down Broadway. Olsen again working a little bit slower, but still quick. Neither batter taking really of a lead, as now that one goes up and inside. Got him to chase on the first one, but that one, no dice. Count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like he never had a chance on that breaking ball to really get it down.
A strikeout would be vital right now, because Turks are in double play scare right now, as now the 1-2 is taken to center field. Right under it is Trey Younger, but not before that's going to score 1 run. Snare goes across the plate now. They've matched the center field sacrifice fly in the first inning for the Tom Sox, as now we're all knotted up at 1.
How they did it, they just needed one guy to get on base. You know, now we see a single, and then the sac fly brings Schnurr home to tie the game for the Turks.
Olsen checks over to Ferris at first, but no dice. We've been mentioning that the pick out has been a problem for the Tom Sox, not really able to get anything, as the first delivery to Michael Rosario goes on the outside and up black for a strike. 0-1. Goes back over and checks Ferris again at first, trying to get a pick out, but no dice again. Olsen again is ready for the 0-1. Down the middle and hit straight back to Cole Wagner. Cole over to Edwards at second, but not in time for the double play. Is able to get Ferris out at second, but Rosario is able to show his speed off and get in front of the throwback. Only 1 down
batting for the Turks,
in that play, but
second
2
baseman,
away in the
number
inning.
11,
As
Matthew
now
Momentos.
Ficca steps up to bat. Another left-handed batter, as now there's still 1 on first. Olsen looks over, Cole Wagner on the bag. Olsen's going to dish, though, as he goes, but that's hit straight to right center in the gap, and that's going to get down, hits back the wall, and Ferris is going to stretch back to home, as now Ficca's able to get to third. It's an RBI
Correction,
triple
that hit was
to the
by
gap
number
in
7,
right
Christian
center,
Ficca.
and now the Turks have something rolling in Olsen, and now they take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
batting for
looks
the
like that
Turks,
shot by
right
Fickle was a little bit of a
fielder,
revenge on our
number
PA
14,
announcer
TJ
for getting the wrong name. He just shoots that one deep right center, it will look like, and then just getting that triple. Huge for the Turks, and now they're rolling. They got 2 runs in this inning, and they've taken the lead.
Obviously, they're first in the Valley League for a reason as their explosive offense goes. As now we see TJ Williams at the plate, and the first delivery goes right down Broadway for a fastball 0-1. As we mentioned, Farrison himself has 27 RBIs. Lee right behind him with 26, and Ficka's not on that board in the top 5. He does have 20 right behind Cole Wagner at 22. As now the second delivery comes over. As now he takes timeout after the 0-2 delivery comes through, and that's hit straight to third. Brody Moss is right under it, throws it over to Cole, and he's safe at first. Brody's not able to get the out as now another run scores as Ficka's able to get over the plate now, and now the Turks extend their lead, getting 3 runs in this 4th inning. Lead stretches to 2. It's 3-1.
I mean, we've talked about it all game right now with Bobby. He had a perfect game in the beginning. In the first 3 innings, all 9 batters retired. He gets back to the top of the order. Now they look like they got something on him right now.
Just looked like Brody never got grip on the ball as he had to double pump
Now
it.
batting for the Turks, number 12,
And
Casey Smith.
TJ Williams was able to beat him out. The speed on this Turks offense has been stretched as now Olsen checks back to first. Twice in a row has not pitched a strike against Smith as the count reads 1-0. Still wanting ball don't lie to Williams, but that one straightened back to Smith is into center field, drops, and actually no, he's able to get under it. Is Trey Younger, and now
In the top of the 4th,
the
the
Turks
Harrisonburg side.
offense is
Turks
retired,
have
but not
3
after
hits
they get
and 3
away.
runs.
3 runs in that 4th inning as now they overtake the lead. Tom Sox look to respond in the bottom half. This is Tom Sox Baseball. We're back at Charlottesville High School. Tom Sox not able to keep their lead. Bobby Olsen seems like he had control through the entire game, but in that top of the 4th, the Turks were able to wear their first place in this south of the Valley League's head and put 3 on the Tom Sox head, as now they're leading 3-1 as the Tom Sox look to respond with Matt Prevesk at the plate. His first delivery goes low and away, 1-0, as Kleinfelter seems to have found a groove last inning and the Turks offense seems like they found their groove. Now Kleinfelter for the 1-0 delivery, hit right up the elevator shaft over to first. Running away is now Rosario's right under that. I thought Stadler was going to be the one to call off Rosario, but Rosario nevertheless down the first base foul side, able to put away the first batter. There's one away for Brody Moss.
Yeah, for Kleinfelter now, I mean, getting that first out is huge for him. I mean, we haven't seen him work yet with the Turks against these Tom Sox with the lead. You know, he's been trailing for much of this game, so now he has a chance to get some more momentum going with the Turks up 3-1.
First delivery to Brody Moss is low and away, 1-0, and neither side really has any activity in their bullpen. There's some pitchers walking around for the Tom Sox, but absolutely nothing for the Turks. Is now Kleinfelter will switch baseballs for the second delivery to Brody Moss. Now there looks like there's some discussion in the Tom Sox bullpen, but again, no one throwing anything. Second delivery is way outside, 2-0. Kleinfelter looking to try to get back into the zone with only one away and only a two-run lead. Kleinfelter working quickly as that one's put on the outside black. 2-1. It seems like he had control all day while working slowly, but that quick pace is able to pay off for him for the first strike of the at-bat. 2-1. Odie for the fourth delivery, fouled straight back behind the press box, and now the count moves to matched at 2. Kleinfelter just looks like a different pitcher coming out of the third, and now stepping up to the fourth. 2-2, taken right back to first, though. Right under it is Rosario. Kleinfelter stretches over to first to get the second out. Brody Moss not fast enough to reach first before Kleinfelter able to get his foot on the bag, and now there's 2 away now for Gavin Abrams. Gavin Abrams, the first at bat, had a frustrated pop out, fouled down the third base line. See if he could get something raring with 2 outs. Kleinfelter already ready for his first delivery to Abrams. That almost hits off of the knee of Abrams, but flows back to the fence is the first contact it makes. And now count stretches to 1-0. Almost hit the home plate umpire, Nathan Hamlet, but the second delivery is taken deep to right, but right to the glove of TJ Williams as 3 up, 3 down for the Tom Sox. No response in the fourth. We head to the 5th for the Turks to try to extend their lead. This is Tom Sox baseball.
The Tom Sox would like to thank
We head to the top of the 5th inning. Tom Sox trailing the Harrisonburg Turks 1-3 now, as the Turks offense is ready to step back up with Jake Stadler leading off. Bobby Olson remains on the mound with no activity for either bullpens. Tucker mentioned in the break that
Batting for
the
the
Turks had some people
catcher,
warming up
number
in
10,
practice
Jake
gear,
Statler.
but no actual activity, as now Olson's ready for the first delivery inside. 1-0 to Jake Stadler. And the Turks reared their offense and showed that they belong in first place, as the second delivery is fouled off to the parking lot here at Charlottesville High School. Count matched at 1 now. These have been competitive all year. You never know when either offense is going to strike. That one taken straight to center, and it's going to drop in. Jake Stadler able to get on. First batter up, first batter on for the Turks, as now a single to center field puts
Now
the
up for
first base
Turks,
runner for the Turks
second
on in the
baseman,
fifth.
number 11,
Yeah, it
Matthew
seems like the first at bat
Mamatos.
for a lot of these Turks batters has been like they just couldn't get anything off Olson, and now, in his second run through, they're all starting to get on base. They're all starting to generate runs, and now we're seeing the Turks really putting their mark on this game.
One to warm up the Olson, second one right there, almost hit Matthew Mamatis, who had that great jumping play out in the second inning, but holds his water for the first delivery. 1-0. As the delivery's quick, and that one's hit to the gap in left center, but fast Trey Younger able to get away from it, and now that puts the first out on the board. Trey Younger shows off the speed of the team. I wonder if he could be in the, the game was canceled, but the 60-yard dash in the All-Star game, maybe he would have put up a good fight in that one, but shows the speed in game nonetheless, as he's able to put the first one out.
Yeah, both him and Sam Schnurr, who's up to bat right now, have been, they're getting a lot of hits right to him. They're both trying to track them as fast as they can to really limit any sort of damage.
Olson tries to check Stadler at first again. No
Now
dice
batting
is
for the
now.
Turks, number 22, center
He
fielder,
tries to
Sam
get
Snare.
the first delivery to Sam Snare, top of the Turks lineup. Now the first delivery is middle on target, but upstairs is now count moves to 1-0. Good contact on it by Mamatis, but again, Trey Younger fast enough to track it down, as now Olson checks Stadler again at first, trying to get a pick out, but doesn't have that big of a lead off at first, as now Olson ready for the 0-1 delivery, as that one's hit right down the middle, but able to get under it is Gavin Abrams. Throw over to first for the second one, got him, and now the inning streaks over. Only one batter steps on, no one left on base, as now the Tom Sox play a little bit of keep away from the Turks offense as they get to the top of the lineup, trying to score something on the board as we head into the bottom of the fifth. Tom Sox still down 3-1. This is Tom Sox Baseball. Heading to the bottom of the 5th now for the Tom Sox offense, trying to respond to the Turks' big 4th inning as they put up 3 runs to take the lead against the Tom Sox, able to get 4 up and 3 down in the previous inning. Kyle Edwards steps up to bat as the last batter in the lineup for the Tom Sox. We're able to get the power going, but the consistent contact hitter and Kyle Edwards steps up. The veteran for the Tom Sox is now, they're trying to get something rolling against Kleinfelter. Neither team, again, still has no activity in either bullpen, and trying to wait out the fatigue in either pitcher. As now the first delivery to Kyle Edwards is fouled straight back. 0-1.
I mean, with the way Kleinfelter's been pitching as of late, I mean, he's retired the last 7 batters of the Tom Sox after, the Tom Sox we're getting guys on base on a consistent basis, and now he's just really found his confidence and has really set a lot of these guys down and saying Tom Sox back, and that's part of the reason why Tom Sox are now down 3-1.
The only batter in the lineup as of right now that has more than 100 at-bats, Kyle Edwards. It's his second delivery, low and in the dirt, and now the count's matched at 1. Just try to get anything rolling. When you have, if Edwards is able to get on base, you would assume that the powerhouses at the top of the Tom Sox lineup have a good chance of bringing him in, as now the 1-1 comes in across the face of Edwards, and now the count moves to 2-1.
I mean, the 3 guys they have coming up, I mean, with Edwards and then Martin and Cunningham following him, I mean, those are the 3 guys you want if you want to generate some offense. And then you got Cole Wagner at 4th. I mean, bring those guys home. Tom Sox right now, if Edwards can get on base, will be huge.
4th delivery, Kyle Edwards couldn't get the timing down on that fastball, is now count matched at 2. Yeah, and if you get multiple base runners on for the best averaged batter and the designated hitter of Carter Cunningham, and you have a good chance of getting that response that you need to take the lead on the Valley League South leaders, as the 5th delivery is outside and low, and count runs full for Kyle Edwards. I felt they're working the count back to full after having the 2-1 deficit, but see if he can finish it, as now delivery goes out and away as Kyle Edwards steps onto base for the first batter of Christian Martin.
Back to the top of the order for the
Again,
Sox
as we
with
said, if he's able to get on, you have a good shot at generating some offense. Now the heavy hitters need to do their job, as Christian Martin stuck his head into the home run race of the Valley League South. Now has 3, tied for technically 4th, but there's a lot of ties. Joe De Los Santos leads the South with 8. Couple of Generals players take at 5. Lee in the lineup for the Turks at 4, and then King actually has 3, and he's tied with Martin now after his home run away, but that one's not a home run. Sipped over to short, gets Kyle Edwards, but Martin able to show the speed. Mamadas not able to get it over to first in time. 1 away on the Tom Sox offense, but Martin still stays at first for Carter Cunningham. Just hit it straight to shortstop and Casey Smith. If that's a little bit to the right or left, it was a line drive, so might have had a good chance at leading into the outfield and getting 2 base runners on, but as it stands, only 1 on in first and 1 out. Carter Cunningham takes his first delivery down towards the middle, but still stays above the dirt. And seen too much of those late strikes that don't hit the dirt from Kleinfelter. Is now first pitch reads a ball, 1-0. Kleinfelter working quickly. Again, already ready for it. Martin takes off. The second throw is not away. Hits Martin. Is now Martin's going to stretch out to third, but the throw is going to be not in time. Martin able to steal 2 bases in a row on off-target throws. And now in scoring position with only 1 out, and Carter Cunningham, who again had the only run put up in the first inning on a sacrifice fly who, again, chased Martin across the plate. Now has a 1-0 count to bring another one in for the Tom Sox with a man on third.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned. I mean, it's a similar situation right now. You got Martin on third, and you got Cunningham at the plate. You know, just a shot in the outfield realistically will send Martin home for the run.
That delivery comes back. Carter gets contact on it, but is going to leave the field of play back to the parking lot of Charlottesville High School. Count moves to 2-1. And sent back now as Kleinfelter puts one on the outside, but not able to cross the plate. So now the count reads 3-1. Kleinfelter behind in the count now. Maybe a good thing if you walk Carter, but Cole, the RBI king, might take his stretch back in the RBI lineup as that one's over, catches the middle on a curveball, but Carter gets contact on it and brings it back to the parking lot again, and now another count runs full. Actually, count now moves to 2-2. Is that foul ball? Wasn't calculated on the scoreboard. Still matching with 2 strikes as the 2-2 comes away. Another one that gets contact on with Carter, but again leaves the field of play. Count stays at 2-2 as
that foul ball
Walken comes out and gives
a maintenance crew.
The home plate umpire another set of baseballs as Hammett's been doing his work. He's stepping to the right of the plate as now the 2-2 comes in. A check swing that's high, but third base umpire William Gallant says that Carter did not go. He held his water, and now the count moves full. Now we're right back at square one. Martin on third, 1 out. Tom Sox down by 2. Full delivery. Right down the middle, and Carter fouls another one off. Straight back behind the press box. Probably again made it to the parking lot. Carter giving a lot of children. 3-2 again. Inside, and Carter's able to work the count and get on base for Cole Wagner. 2 on, 1 out. Runners on the corners. Turks up 3-1, but Cole Wagner looking to get something going to try to bring Martin over the plate.
For the Sox, first baseman from Georgia,
to shrink
20,
the lead
Cole
down
Wagner.
1. And now it's another lefty-righty matchup. And Cole Wagner stepping into the left batter's box. First delivery. Over the middle, gets on a little bit inside, but fastball streaks down into the strike zone, 0-1. And with only 1 out, this is the guy that you want at the plate.
When you got runners on the corners, this is definitely one of the better Tom Sox you want.
Delivery hit on and right back to right field. Cole Wagner gets another RBI. Martin steps over the plate. 2 on now. 2 runs on the board for Tom Sox. They respond. And Cole Wagner, as we kind of predicted before the inning started, gets it rolling, dropping through the gap between Mamatis and Rosario into right field. And now the Tom Sox are only down by 1 as the score reads 3-2 Turks. As Alexander steps up to plate, a right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. That one goes low and away, 1-0. And exactly as we mentioned, Cole Wagner, if you have runners on the corners, is exactly the man that you want at the plate. And he shows that production once again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, another thing is, too, right now is that Kleinfelter is really struggling from the mound. He's walked 2 guys so far in this inning.
And in that one, streak back deep to the gap. And that's over the wall as now the Tom Sox respond in another big way as the Satchel Norman replacement and Calvin Alexander puts one over the wall, gives the children here in the stands a souvenir to write home about as now the Tom Sox take the lead against the Turks. It is now 5-3. What a moonshot by Alexander. Shows you why Sacha Norman will be missed but not forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander, too, I mean, he's struggled. He went hitless until the doubleheader against Strasburg. And in that series, he went 4 for 7 in a doubleheader. And then yesterday against the Braves, he hit the home run, and now another home run, give the Sox a lead. I mean, he's really helping out the Sox right now.
What a turn of events here as Trey Younger steps up to bat and takes the first one into the woods past the first base foul line. Count reads 0-1, but again, you have that 1-2 punch and Carter Cunningham and Cole Wagner stepping on. You have the 2 base stolen on one play with Martin as the 0-1 steps outside. Count reads to 1-1, and then you get Cole Wagner getting the RBI to take the lead to 1, and then Alexander just puts one straight, no doubter. And the outfielder, Schnare and Lee, just kind of watch that one as now the third delivery to Younger goes right up the elevator shaft, but out of the field of play. 1-2 reads the count, and that's the way you get offensive explosion.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they sum themselves perfectly with the 9-hitter with Edwards being a consistent hitter he is, and then the top of the lineup being so, like, just getting on base. They're just so great at getting on base, and we saw there, and Calvin Alexander's been hot, and he's passed now 4 games. And, I mean, hitting that shot, clearing the bases for the Tom Sox has been huge.
Kleinfelter is not feeling too hot as Trey Younger steps up to the plate for his 5th delivery. 2 strikes, 2 balls, but both strikes have been fouled off. Only 1 out as that one's hit, but right to the shortstop in Casey Smith, but he loses his grip as another one steps on base with only 1 out. Trey Younger, again, with his speed, you're not really getting him out if you bobble the ball as Casey Smith does. Another one on for the Tom Sox as now Prevesk steps up with a base runner on.
Yeah, right now it looks like the Turks are shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, as simple as that. They're hurting themselves. Kleinfelter was rolling coming into this inning. He's let 2 guys get on base for walks. He had the RBI single and then
Younger going,
3-run
but
shot.
Stadler not able to get grip on the ball as another one goes away and again kind of cut you off as Younger didn't want you to finish that sentence, but again, it's under the same momentum as they're kind of falling asleep out there in the field.
Yeah, and then we saw there a bad pitch by Kleinfelter. Stadler had to reach out for it, had no shot of getting any sort of pickoff on Younger. And, you know, that's why right now, if we look towards the Turks bullpen, I mean, we see a guy warming up. Kleinfelter might be able to get out this inning, but I might not see him coming into the 6th.
There is activity in the Turks bullpen. There's not any in the Tom Sox's. Younger now has dirt all up on the jersey. The 1-0 to Prevesk is fouled backwards back into the parking lot. And now the count is matched at 1 with 1 out. And again, your pop time behind the plate can be as good as always. But if you get an outside and up errant pitch with someone as fast as Younger stealing, you're not going to get really anything rolling as the 1-1 delivery is ready. That one curves back into the strike zone. A breaking ball steps in. Another count reads 1-2.
Yeah, you mentioned it with Casey Smith error at short. You know, he couldn't get good grip on it. Younger sped past the first base bag, and then right there, a bad pitch. I mean, it doesn't even matter if it was a good pitch. I think Younger still would have been safe.
The 1-2 goes outside and low. 2-2. And again, you mentioned before the game, offensive explosion was the story of every win streak that the Tom Sox have had. And as we see Turks explode for 3, Tom Sox respond for 4. As now the 2-2 comes. Taken back again to the parking lot of Charlottesville High School. Stays at 2-2 with 1 away.
It's also similar kind of offensive spurts for each team. I mean, Sam Schnurr was hit by the pitch in the 4th inning, which allowed the Turks to start rolling in some runs. And then this inning, I mean, 2 of the first 3 batters were walked.
2-2 were fouled off again straight back. And we lamented the last home game that the Tom Sox had before the Woodstock doubleheader, able to get the first game away, but the second one, as I was calling a game with Luke Nat Carney, who's usually the play-by-play guy, as Christian Martin got hit and then took one over the fence. It looks like good things happen when Christian Martin gets hit, but that's not a good sign for the Tom Sox, as Perves is not able to get his timing down, and an outside fastball is now the second out. Streaks on the board for the Turks as Brody Moss steps up the plate now.
Auburn, number 1, third baseman, Brody Moss.
Kleinfelter trying to get something rolling. Looks like he had a little bit of control back in himself against 2 steals, fielding mistakes, and a souvenir moonshot to the hill over the right center wall as the first delivery to Brody Moss steps outside, 1-0.
Yeah, you combine that with the pitch count he's currently at. He's thrown over 80 pitches so far. So, I mean, the Turks don't want to overdo that arm. And he struggled as of late with the control and just getting ahead in these counts.
1-0 is taken, kind of dribbler over to second, but I'm going to say it bounced before it got to him. Foul ball. Maybe hit the plate, streaked foul, but
Looked like
not in play.
Looked like it might have actually hit Brody as well. I mean, the way he kind of walked back.
Maybe that's why it went out to the field of play. It was not a fast, sort of looked like a swinging bunt, but if it did hit off of the ankle, either way, it did not start as a fair ball, as now the count moves to 1-1. 2 away, Trey Younger on second, still dirtied up from his slide of stealing it. That one, dirty curveball, steps in, and now the count reads 1-2. Brody Moss thought that was going to be another outside breaking ball, maybe low, but what a curveball this late in the pitch count by Kleinfelter. So now the 1-2 comes away. Another one curve, but that one's going to cut low. And now the scoreboard reads 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Kleinfelter again, ready, stands, fires, outside, and now the count reads full. Brody Moss, not up there in batting average, but still a consistent fielding piece and fielding offensive piece, as he's a contact batter. Knows how to run the count. Now the full delivery seeps low, and Brody Moss is able to get on base. 2 up.
Looks like Harrisonburg is going to make the change as well.
Yup. As head coach Bob Wees steps out to presumably take out Matthew Kleinfelter. His day is probably over, as now he looks to actually
There comes new
no,
pitcher
he
now.
is walking out, trying to get the name of the pitcher who's stepping out. 23, Ben Craig, left-handed pitcher, the only freshman on the Turks lineup who's going to step out. Left-handed pitcher for UMBC. And now Kleinfelter's day ends after a walk and giving up 4 in this same inning. 2 outs, though, for Craig to step up. And if you're the Tom Sox, getting offensive rolling, you're kind of excited that you were able to get another inning out of Kleinfelter to get that sort of fatigued pitcher out. Obviously, the Tom Sox have a 75 pitch limit, but that's a team thing, not a league-wide. And it looks like the Turks may think about it after Kleinfelter reaches that 75 mark and gives up 4 runs here in the 5th.
Yeah, Kleinfelter was closing in on 90 pitches for the day, and in his heat as well, that had to take a toll on him. And plus, I don't think the Turks really want to get too much in their bullpen right now, especially because we're playing a doubleheader of 9 innings. So we still got we got a few more innings in this game, and then they got to play another 9. You don't want to go too deep into your bullpen right now. And I mean, good thing on it. I mean, it was a great job by Tom Sox. You know, we've talked about it in the beginning of the broadcast. Like, they've done well at plate discipline. They're going to get those hits, obviously, with 18 yesterday. but they're going to work those counts, and they're going to make the pitchers earn it. And Kleinfelter at the end struggled to get the guys out, and we saw Calvin Alexander's home run, Cole Wagner's RBI single, a few walks. I mean, at the end for Kleinfelter, he just struggled in this inning.
Yeah, another thing. 14 hits last game. We had 14 hits against the Turks away in Harrisonburg in the 11-6 victory to begin this 4-game win streak. As we have some time to check. Actually, no, we're ready to go with Craig stepping up on the mound, and Gavin Abrams is stepping to the plate with 2 on, 2 out.
Still
4
batting
have
for
come
Sox,
across the
second
board
baseman from Clemson,
in this
number 5,
inning.
Gavin
Obviously,
Abrams.
we had the RBI to bring Christian Martin home by Cole Wagner, and then Calvin Alexander able to bring him, Cole Wagner, and Carter Cunningham all away in a home run to left center. As the first delivery from Craig to Abrams goes low and outside, 1-0. Trying to get the feel for the new freshman pitcher, lefty versus lefty matchup, as that one is again outside. And again, you kind of shoot that piece, lefty pitchers who have a side-armed release, as Craig does against lefty batters. That is not a sight that you really want to see, and as much as lefties that the Tom Sox have in their roster, that one's inside as Craig's trying to find the strike zone. But behind in the count, 3-0, and this is exactly what you do not want to see with Kyle Edwards up on deck, almost putting bases loaded for him, as that one's going to step in there. Just a strike on the inside black, 3-1. Abrams, another consistent contact batter for the Tom Sox earlier in the season, as that one's taken, but right to Michael Rosario, and that's going to end the inning, but not before the Tom Sox are able to put 4 on the board.
That's 2 hits,
and
2 errors,
a home
and
run
4 runs
from
in the bottom of the
Calvin Alexander, giving the kids a souvenir to take home with and cherish here. Headed into the 6th inning, the Tom Sox lead the Harrisonburg Turks 5-3. This is Tom Sox Baseball.
Mitch Ferris.
Welcome back to Willie T. Barnett Field. Tom Sox able to respond with 4 runs, including a Calvin Alexander moonshot to right center, as the first delivery from Bobby Olson to designated hitter of the Turks, Mitch Ferris, goes outside. Olson already ready for the second delivery, and that's upstairs 2-0. We mentioned the 75 pitch limit for the Tom Sox as Kleinfelter reached 90. Olson only at 50 now, as that one steps in to the inside black of the strike zone. Count reads 2-1. Olson still out there after 6 innings. Giving up 3. Fourth delivery inside, 3-1. No activity in the Tom Sox bullpen. Obviously no activity in the Turks bullpen as they just put in freshman pitcher Craig. And now Olsen's ready. That one outside but hit straight to Kyle Edwards. He's able to field and throw it over to Cole Wagner for the first out of the inning. Fair's able to get some great contact, but it was hit right to Kyle Edwards, who was kind of on the median between the grass and the dirt at shortstop. One away.
I mean, going back to what you said about Bobby Olsen, with no work in the bullpen, I mean, other than that fourth inning, realistically, Bobby's been pretty solid all around. He's been able to get these batters out. He's been able to get ahead in the count. It was just in that fourth inning where the wheels started to come off a little bit. But in the fifth inning, he was starting to get back into it. And in the sixth inning now, 1 out already.
First delivery to Jalen Lee is outside. 0-1. And yeah, you said it. Olsen working quickly has been so dominant, even if giving up those 3 runs in the fourth inning, as the second delivery to Lee is fouled off almost in play for Cole Wagner to get under, but out nonetheless, 1-1. I'm still surprised that there's no activity in the bullpen, and Tom Sox aren't a team that really puts pitchers out without a warm-up, so I don't know if we're going to see a 7th inning from Olsen, as the fourth delivery is inside, 2-1. Olsen already ready for the fifth, and that one streaking velocity in there against Lee, and now counts matched at 2. What a pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it just burnt right past Lee, a dangerous hitter. I mean, Olsen just threw that one right in there, and he couldn't keep up with it.
Speed back now, the 2-2. Seats inside, hits Alexander in the chest, but obviously with nobody on, it's not going to really matter. And now the count runs full. As we mentioned, this is a doubleheader, but both games are going to be 9 innings. So Olsen sits back for the full. That one's hit straight down the middle. Edwards not fast enough to get to it. That's going to reach Trey Younger in center field as Lee puts the first runner on the board. Stays at first with only 1 away.
Trying to just put some pressure on Olsen. I mean, we've seen a lot in this game where Olsen's trying to pick off those guys at first to kind of limit the damage so they can't really advance. I mean, now with Lee on first, I mean, it's going to put – Olsen's going to have to keep an eye on him.
Valley League South batting average leader Michael Rosario steps up to the plate against Olsen once again as that one steps low.
Now batting for the Turks, number 18,
1-0.
first baseman Michael Rosario.
Rosario up 2 times, no hits yet. As now Olsen tries to check Lee at first, no dice. Rosario, such a consistent batter for the Tom Sox to have to face here in this 6th inning, as the 1-0 taken deep to right center, but Trey Younger's able to get under it and puts the second out on the board for the Turks. Tom Sox again, not the guy that you really want to see with a man on, but takes it deep, but just straight to Trey Younger, as he didn't need to show off the speed, but he doesn't have it if he needs to, and now there's 2 away for third baseman Christian Ficca. Olsen checks Lee again at first, almost got him, but Lee able to slip in there, taking a bigger lead than most base runners that the Turks have had on first, but still not big enough to make it a threat, as the first delivery to Ficca's low and away, 1-0. Ficca, another guy that's been consistent for the Turks all season, especially with men on. 1-0. Hits the inside, just a ball, as now Olsen falls behind 2-0. 2 out though, just needs to take care of 1. Olsen again working quickly. Ficca ready for it, takes that one deep to right, going back on the track, and that one's going to step down on the bottom of the wall. Ficca able to get in, he's sending Lee home as now the Turks respond with one of their own, but obviously not a home run, so it doesn't tie the game. 2 outs. Turks get the lead down to only 1 as now the scoreboard reads 5-4.
Yeah, I mean, Fick's having a huge day. Now he hit the RBI triple back in the 4th, and now the RBI double here in the 6th. And he's just getting good contact on every single one he's pitched. Every time he just takes that shot. And I mean, he just keeps sending these guys back towards the fence.
TJ Williams now at the plate. This is the first one and fouls it straight back. And yeah, again, you get Ficka back with men on board no matter where they are. Gets him home from first base as Olsen tried to check Lee at first multiple times. And I was unaware of whether or not Younger and Martin were going to call for that one, but it stayed right in the middle of either one of them. If that was just a foot to either side, that's probably a catch, and we're walking back to the dugout as now the 0-1 is hit straight up to shallow right, but Gavin Abrams able to get under that and put it away as now the lead is shortened to only 1, but the Tom Sox do hold on to it going into the bottom of the 6th inning, and this is usually the time that we would give you these scores around the Valley League, but we are the only team playing as of right now. There will be games later that are starting at 5, but right now as 4:30 rolls around, we're the only game playing, so we will give you a little bit of a break heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. This is Tom Sox Baseball.
For the Tom Sox.
We'll reach you back to the bottom of the 6th inning, and we kind of have deja vu to that 5th inning as now Kyle Edwards starts it off again, doubled in the 2nd, and then walked in the 5th to start the Tom Sox explosion for 4 runs as now they look to respond to the Turks getting 1 in the top half of the inning as the first delivery is low to Edwards, 1-0. Obviously, Craig still on the mound, still rocking the sidearm, but against a right pitcher as now that one goes outside, 2-0. And to work another walk to get the top of the Tom Sox lineup back up as Christian Martin's on deck. Carter Cunningham, the power hitter, in the hole, but the delivery to Kyle Edwards, the chipped straight down and fouled, but Edwards able to get contact on it. And after the home run by Alexander, Carter Cunningham might lose the power hitter tag.
I think he still has it, but I mean, Calvin. I mean,
they'll share it.
Yeah, they'll share it. But I mean, Calvin Alexander has been amazing. He's passed 4 games now. Especially, I mean, he started off in that doubleheader against Strasburg, and now in the last game against Stanton, now today with the 2 homers.
Hadn't seen a lot from him because Satchel Norman usually took that behind the plate role, but again, we are so deep at catchers. We've seen Julian Rojas also be a consistent batter. He hasn't seen a lot of action recently because of Norman, and now Alexander as the 2-1 slips outside Count moves to 3-1. Delivery is outside, and deja vu reads again as Kyle Edwards able to get on base for a walk. And Christian Martin, who might have put up a little bit of competition for Trey Younger for dirtiest uniform today, as now his white pants look brown, but he steps up to the plate. Left-handed pitcher against left-batted Christian Martin is now the first delivery to Martin is low and away, 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about the dirty jersey for Martin. I mean, we saw him. He stole second base and allowed him a bad throw, allowed him to go to third, too. And so, I mean, he's been able to get himself in positions to score so far in this game.
1-0 again. Down and out. He's trying to get Martin to chase for something. But if deja vu will read again, that's not going to happen. Tom Sox trying to get a response of their own. Still hold a 1-point lead as the third delivery is upstairs, and now the count reads 3-0, no outs, 1 on. And now Martin running the count up again. Craig looks like he's struggling in his first full inning. Well, delivery is just hits the low black and gets in for a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, Craig has definitely struggled to find the strike zone for the most part in this one. Even in that last out that he got to end the 5th inning, I mean, he still was behind that count.
The 3-run rolled too short, but Casey Smith is able to get a tag on it, and Martin's not fast enough this time to get to first, but that advances Kyle Edwards to second for Carter Cunningham to step up with only 1 out and a man on second.
From East Carolina.
And again, in this situation, you will have Cole Wagner and Carter, and then if one of them gets on, you will have Alexander step to the plate again. So again, the 3 batters you would love to see step up to the plate with one in scoring position is now Carter Cunningham is ready for his first delivery. And that goes outside, 1-0. Just trying to string something along to get some insurance headed into the late portion of this first game of this doubleheader. Is now the 1-0 comes away. Carter able to get contact on it, but steps back to the Tom Sox dugout. Now matched 1-1 with 1 out. Carter hovering a little bit over the plate. Not too much, though, as he stands straight up. 1-1. Sits in there on the outside portion of the strike zone, not on the black, but still outside nonetheless, as now count reads 1-2. Carter trying to work the count. Getting on base, trying to advance Kyle as he's dancing, and now goes to third as that's high, but the throw is out of the way, reaches right field, and now Edwards is able to get past the plate as Carter didn't need to do anything to score a run for the Tom Sox, as now the lead moves to 6-4. Bad throw from Jake Stadler.
Yeah, I mean, it's another bad, I mean, just like in the 5th inning, I mean, we saw with Christian Martin to be able to steal the 2 bases, and now we see another bad throw by him to get from home to third and brings Kyle Edwards home. It just basically walks home.
Defense is looking like it's falling asleep, as now Carter is caught looking on the outside black. It looked to me like that was going to step outside, but
Now up to the plate.
you got to trust
Georgia, first baseman
the
number
umps back
20,
there
Cole
to
Wagner.
make the call in those situations. And if it's a strike to Nathan Hamlet, it's a strike to the Tom Sox, as now Cole Wagner looks to put another one on, but 2 outs are now on the board for the Turks and Craig. Wagner now sets back, and there was a little bit of a timeout, and Wagner kind of stepped off as Alexander stepped towards the first place foul line, as that another first pitch goes down and out. It looks like Craig is trying to see who's going to reach for that, as that's been a consistent area that he's tried to attack, but no one has fell for it. And now a fastball comes down, the velocity gets Cole Wagner swinging, and now counts matched at 1.
Yeah, it was a good pitch there by Craig. But, I mean, for the most part so far in his play, I mean, he just has not been able to find a strike zone.
Well, hitting 350 is now that one is going to sit inside. Count moves to 2-1. Cole again able to step his head a little bit further in the RBI race, as I keep mentioning, but obviously with nobody on, he takes the fourth delivery away and down again. Is now count reached 3-1 with 2 away. Craig ready, working quickly, delivers right down Broadway, but that's going to be upstairs. And now Cole Wagner is able to get himself a walk for Alexander to step back for the first time since his moon shot to left center. With 1 on, Cole Wagner steps out to first. Alexander up at the plate, 2 away. But not after the Tom Sox were able to get 1 run across the plate. First pitch to Alexander, high and away. Looks airily to the same area that last pitch to Cole Wagner looked, and now the count reads 1-0. Craig trying to get back to the dugout as now that one's sidearmed and inside to Alexander, facing a right-handed batter. Not the matchup, but with the sidearm release is still a little bit puzzling to be at the plate, but Alexander faces Craig for the first time as that's one's outside, and now Craig finds himself down in the count 3-0, threatening another walk. Bring up Trey Younger. I think he's scared to throw down the strike zone, but that one again steps upstairs as Craig is visibly scared to throw it down the strike zone to Alexander after he took Kleinfelter deep. And now there's 2 on, but 2 away for Matthew Prevesk. Or Trey Younger, rather.
Yeah, I can see that. Now there's a little mound visit going on up there. I mean, through almost 30 pitches, he's thrown 20 balls. I mean, you have to have better consistency from the mound. I mean, in that last at bat against Alexander, he just missed it every single time for a 4-0 count.
You like to see a pitcher throw at least half of his pitches be strikes, but obviously you would like to see that later in the pitch count, not at 30, and definitely not pitching 33% of them. And now Trey Younger stepping up to the plate with 2 on, 2 away. Craig's first delivery right down the middle. Trey Younger looks at the first one, 0-1. They get more insurance, but still hold a 2-run lead. Looking at heading in to the 7th with 2 outs, 0-1. That one just away, and now we're matched at 1. See this late in the season and how competitive that the Turks have been. There's only been 1 away win for either team, and that occurred last game to start their 4-game winning streak. The Tom Sox beat the Turks 11-6 in Harrisonburg, the first time that an away team 1-2, as that one's outside, and now we're matched at 2 with 2 away,
For the Tom
2
Sox,
on.
number 17, center fielder, Trey Younger.
Trying to get something rolling with 2 strikes, trying to fight back into the count. That one's way upstairs. In line shot of Younger. Younger's a little bit shorter than the other batters on this lineup. It's still away the eye line. And now the count reads full. Good job by Younger fighting through this count, as now he looks to try to get on as both runners go. And that's another walk for Craig, as now bases are loaded for Matthew Prevesk.
Yeah, that's now 4 walks in the bottom half of the inning for Craig. I mean, we mentioned it before. Just can't find strike zone. It's simple as that. He's got to be able to work it a little bit better. That left-handed sidearm pitch, his pitching style is usually pretty tough for some pitchers, but he's just not finding that zone.
Neither team has any activity in their bullpen, and now Craig Steps up to Prevesk. That's another one that's low and outside. Each time it seems like the first pitch to each batter has been down and outside. You almost know where the pitch is going to land now.
Yeah.
And now the count reads 1-0. Is now there is a pitcher that's trotting out to the bullpen of the Turks. Evan Smith trotting out there with a catcher to try to get something warming up for the Turks. Craig's still going to step in there. Count reads 1-1. Bases loaded. Prevesk out. 2 outs. That one almost hits Prevesk. That would have gotten another run in, but again, steps out without making contact, and now the count reads 2-1.
I will say, Evan Smith warming up in the bullpen for the Turks. It's still a 6-4 game. If Craig can get out of this and Evan Smith comes in, he's had a lot of success against these Tom Sox.
2-1 hit to the parking lot of Charlottesville High School. A lot of foul balls are going that way, and now the count reads 2-2 with 2 outs. With a 2-run lead, it's not the end of the world if you don't get anything out here, but it will seem a little bit frustrating as now you're able to get something rolling now. But Prevesk sets out for another one, and that one is outside, and now the count reads full once again. And now we're one pitch away from either traveling back to each respective dugouts or having another one cross the plate for the Tom Sox. Craig trying to get out of the inning. Delivers. That one's hit straight to center, and we might get multiple. Prevesk leads. One comes out. That's Wagner. Second one comes out. That's Alexander. It is a RBI double, a single for Matthew Prevesk. He's going to go back to first. Tried to get out. Second one. And now, with 2 away, we're able to get another run scored as 2 cross for the Tom Sox. Is now the lead moves 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's the kind of cushion you want. So, I mean, for Tom Sox getting that Prevesk single, that he was able to advance for 2, and it brings 2 guys in, and now an 8-4 lead. Tom Sox are rolling once again, 3 runs now in the 6th inning.
First delivery to Brody Moss is behind him. Almost hit him in the legs if he should have stayed there, and got another loaded base decision as they are going to allow Prevesk to go to second. And now there's 2 men in scoring position for Brody Moss in the back end of this Tom Sox lineup. 1-0 is again outside, and now reads 2-0. This is the first time that we've seen a first pitch not low and away, but that was low and inside and almost hit Brody Moss. The second one is low and away. And now Craig ready for the 2-0 delivery. That goes right down the middle. Contact by Brody Moss is made, but it's sent back to the parking lot in Charlottesville High School. Tell me again what's new. As now the count reads 2-1. Still 2 outs. 8-4. 2 men on, both in scoring position. Delivery. Just gets the black on the outside, and now the count is matched at 2. Again, every batter that stepped up seems that they fought out of these situations. Knock on wood for Brody Moss to get the same thing done. Now the 2-2 delivery sips inside, and now again we read another full count for Craig. You just seen he's probably not making it to the next inning, and he might not make it out of this one.
It just seems like a lot of these at-bats now. He's getting close. He's up in the count, has 2 strikes, and then he just struggles at the end of it and then has the walks.
The full delivery is down and away, and now we have another full base. Evan Smith will come in for the Turks as he looks out to make another pitching change in this game. 42 pitches in this 1 inning, as now Craig walks himself visibly frustrated as he takes off his hat in disgust with himself, as now a new pitcher will lead the Turks out with bases loaded and 2 outs, as Gavin Abrams will step up to the plate when we resume. Just offensive explosion again, another great inning from the Tom Sox.
Yeah, for sure. And now for the Turks, they got Evan Smith on the mound. And I mean, now is a good time to have that 4-run cushion because against the Tom Sox, Smith has appeared in 3 games. 2 of those games have been just shutouts. They have not gotten a run in those games. You know, he had the complete game in the one. It was a Maddox. He threw under 100 pitches. And then in his last outing, when the Tom Sox lost 10-0, he pitched 7 innings in that one. So, I mean, this guy, Evan Smith has found a lot of success against the Tom Sox, and they've had no answer for him.
And especially in a game that's looking like it's catching out of hand with more runs than hits for both teams, but 7 hits for the Tom Sox. 8 runs have came across, and the one was the errant throw to third with Edwards trying to steal third, and he was able to get home. And now it's to try to, you know, keep the Tom Sox offense at bay. That's obviously raring for, you know, both games. You at least want to take at least one, so now you're trying to, you know, stymie their momentum now as they're trying to come back with only 3 chances left to go.
Yeah, and then for the Turks as well, I mean, a lot of their issues right now, I think can be like, you know, they can be withstandable. I mean, they've had 3 errors already today to the Tom Sox 0. So the Tom Sox have played a much cleaner defensive game, and then, you know, we saw with Craig just couldn't find a strike zone, and then he gave up 3 runs. If he didn't give up those 3 runs, I mean, it's a 1-run lead once again, and now you got this kind of pitcher coming in. But it's just these kind of mistakes.
And especially with a situation such as this, when you have a doubleheader with both 9 innings, but you can't really fix these sort of mistakes. You just gotta kind of have to fight through them, as Smith wants a new baseball. He's gonna get it. Gavin Abrams finally steps up to the plate. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a 4-run lead here in the 6th inning, stretching out the 7th. The first delivery to Smith is across the eye line of Abrams, 1-0. And also, you have no room to be lenient as the 1-0 comes across. Again, another upstairs one, and now you're falling behind with bases loaded. Cannot afford another walk. But 2 outs get you a little bit of a cushion, and now the 2-0 comes across. Outside and away, and now you fell way behind and need to fight back into this count. If I'm Gavin Abrams, I'm not swinging at anything until there's a strike on the board.
Yeah, Smith right now has to show he's got something right now.
Smith going back. That's going to step in there on the outside corner upstairs, but steps into the strike zone, 3-1. And in this pitch, I might not swing either, but we've seen Smith have success. The 3-1. Down the middle, that's upstairs, and that's actually, that's going to bring another run in for a walk for the first batter that Smith sees. As Younger's able going back to the dugout. And now another 4-run inning for the Tom Sox leads. It's 9-4.
Yeah, and again, going back to mentioning earlier just how disciplined Tom Sox have been from the plate. That's their 10th walk of the day. And, I mean, so they're just really making life tough for these opposing pitchers from the Turks.
Ball 5 slips over the plate to Kyle Edwards. Situation as that one's upstairs, and another count rolls over 2-0. Smith desperately needs to find something before things get really out of hand, more than they already are. 2-0. Right down the middle. Contact made by Edwards, but it's able to get past the third baseman in Ficca as another run slips over the board, but everyone stays after that as Matthew Prevesky is able to cross Kyle Edwards with an RBI, and now Tom Sox looking like they're taking commanding control with a 10-4 lead. Bases still loaded for the top of the lineup in Christian Martin.
Number 8, Christian Martin.
What an explosion in these last 2 innings. Matching 4 and 5, and the first one of Martin comes across way upstairs over the eye line of Martin. 1-0. It seems like the second strike that Smith has thrown is now into the outfield, and now threatening again to bring more home. As a 1-0 almost just misses the knee of Christian Martin, and now another count moves to 2-0. Haven't found any early success in any batter that he's faced yet.
No, yeah, that's definitely a positive for the Tom Sox because of how Smith can be dominant against these guys.
The 2-0 just hits the black of the outside portion of the strike zone, and now the first strike of the batter steps on. 2-1 is the count. Every run in this inning came with 2 outs, as now that one's slow rolling outside. 3-1. And we mentioned a lot of times in the early stints and throughout the season that the walk that's going to make another run come across for the Tom Sox. 6 runs in this one inning. All have come with 2 outs. Brody Moss crosses, and now the power hitter and Carter Cunningham steps up to the plate. The 3 consistent batters from the Tom Sox leads one of them on base, and now the up-and-coming power hitter and Alexander looks to get on, but also with 2 outs as the first one straight right over to Michael Rosario, as I might have jinxed it, but not before 6 runs come across with 2 outs.
That's
2 hits, 1 error, as now the Tom Sox take a commanding 11-4 lead headed into the 7th inning. This is Tom Sox baseball.
Alert, it's hot outside.
We bring you back to the 7th inning of this matchup between the Tom Sox and the Turks. Olsen's day is over as the Tom Sox were able to put up 6 all earned, all after 2 outs runs in the bottom of the 6th inning and taking a commanding 11-4 lead.
Yeah, we saw Craig. I mean, he was trying to get some momentum going. He had the out, and then he had a strikeout, and then he just got put out. But then after that, he just couldn't find a strike zone. He walked 3 batters in a row, and then, I mean, just couldn't find any momentum after that. And Evan Smith comes in, a guy who's had a lot of success against the Tom Sox, and he struggled to find the strike zone as well. And the Tom Sox got 2 RBI walks. I mean, you just can't be doing that if you're the Turks and you want to get back in this game.
Yep, one of 3 Georgia products on the Tom Sox roster, one of 4 to step onto the roster this season. And Chandler Marsh, sophomore right-handed pitcher, steps up to the mound in relief of Olsen's day. And that's just because he's hitting his pitch count. But again, more dominance from the mound as another consistent pitcher. And Marsh steps up as the first one goes to the outside. As now the Tom Sox are trying to see something, as now that almost comes across and almost hits Sam Schnare. Oh, I'm sorry, Casey Smith is up to the bat. Now trying to get something rolling, 2-0. Right down the middle. Fastball strike is now right down Broadway, as Smith kind of looked over Adler. It's like right down Broadway. I don't know what you're arguing about, but nonetheless, count reads 2-1. Second one goes upstairs. 3-1. Marsh trying to find his groove. Seeing what Hamlet is calling strikes and we're calling balls. And the first one goes inside, and that leads one base runner on as Smith walks and brings up
catcher Jake
Stadler. You give Marsh time to try to find his groove.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, in all of his outings so far this season, he's only allowed the most hits he's allowed is 3. So, I mean, he's had a lot of success from the mound. I mean, it's just in a similar situation, just getting stuck out there right now and just got to work it out, work the kinks out a little.
First one to Jake Stadler, breaks the bat, but that's going to reach the foul line down third base, as now Stadler's going to have to look for a new bat
That foul ball was brought to
and
you
get
by the
nothing
Newhouse
out of
Company.
it. So now the count is going to move to 1-1. No outs, only one on. Smith on first. Turks trailing by 7 now. Tom Sox with 8 hits, 11 runs. Turks 6 hits, 4 runs, but 3 errors might have cost them some runs.
Yeah, and then also those 10 walks.
1-1. That one's made contact too, but sent out to the parking lot in Charlottesville High School. Now the count reads 2-2. Stadler, another consistent batter, a lefty versus righty matchup as that one sits back straight up, going into center. Younger sprinting over is able to get under it for the first out of the inning as Casey Smith trots back to first. Good contact, but with the speed of Younger, you're not getting anything
For the Turks,
other than
baseman,
very
Matthew
shallow, but then you would
Manotas.
kind of imagine that either Abrams or Edwards are going to get under those, and Younger able to put out the first one as Mamatis is stepping up to plate now. Right-handed batter versus right-handed pitcher as the first delivery goes swinging past Mamatis, and able to get the first strike of the at-bat, 0-1. And velocity out kind of fooled him. He was sitting back on breaking, but a little bit of a check swing. Didn't fully go through. Now the 0-1 sits back. That one fell straight back. Without the fence of the window here, would have smacked me right in the face, as now count reads 0-2. Marsh getting his velocity behind him, showing some poise from the mound with 1 out. Only 1 on. Casey Smith takes not that great of a lead at first. Marsh looks for the delivery. That goes outside and low. First ball, 1-2.
Good stop there by Alexander as well. I mean, we could kind of see it in the Tom Sox outfield with Abrams kind of creeping up, ready for that stolen base. But it was a good stop by Alexander to get underneath his glove and get it back to Marsh.
Yeah, but Rojas, Alexander, and Norman had such consistency from behind the plate from everyone. Such a great fielding team all around that the Tom Sox has been all season, as the 1-2 streaks outside 2-2. Especially from behind the plate. It seems like I've only witnessed one pitch get away from whoever's putting on the catching equipment as the 2-2 streaks back, and the velocity is too much for Mamatis. Puts him out for the second out of this 7th inning. Marsh, what great velocity on that one. Fooled Mamatis. Is now Snare's going to step up to bat. Actually, there's a pinch hitter coming out for Snare as Brady Gumpf steps out. The junior outfielder is going to step out
number 20 from Notre
to
Dame,
pinch
Brady Gumpf.
Snare, Notre Dame prospect. Right-handed batter. That one checks, but It is going to be a called strike from first base umpire James Love. And the count reads 0-1 with 2 away and only 1 out.
I mean, we saw it with Mamadas, and now we're seeing with Gump. It looks like they're just kind of fooled on that first pitch. They're expecting something else, and they have that kind of like check swing, but they are swinging, but they're trying to pull it back real quick.
Ooh, that one's scary right up. Scared the tower. Now count reads 1-1 right across the face of Gump. Looks like it got away from Marsh there, but able to stay back. Maybe he didn't like the gold helmet that Gump is sporting right now.
Maybe got blinded by it, honestly, with the reflecting.
Still a clean helmet nonetheless. 1-1. That one right down the middle, but the velocity's too much for Gump as he gets the second strike away, 1-2. Great position with 2 outs to get this momentum staying in the side of the Tom Sox. Marsh looks over to first, and Casey Smith still taking a bigger lead of first now, but able to get it over, but that one just misses the outside black as now the count reads 2-2. I thought that was a strike for sure, but if that's going to be called by Hamlet, I'm going to have to agree with it. 2-2 now, 2 outs, only 1 on in this 7th inning. Delivery right down the middle, swinging his Gump, and that's going to put away the side. 4 up, 3 down. 0 runs come across the board, and now the Turks only have 2 opportunities to take down this 7th run lead by the Tom Sox. 11-4 is your score as we head into the bottom of the 7th. This is Tom Sox Baseball. We bring you back to Willie T. Barnett Field for the bottom of the 7th after some great singing from our own media team, Dora Friedman, as now the Tom Sox look to bring more runs away across home plate as they step an 11-4 lead, 8 hits, 0 errors, but the Turks have 3 Tugger-like dimensions to the plate. Is
the first batter stepping up
Georgia
to the
product
plate
Cole
for
Wagner.
Tom Sox will be number 20, Cole Wagner.
Trying to keep that streak alive going. 6 runs as the first delivery to Cole Wagner's low. Been trying to get back to his Tom Sox dominating ways, but obviously the 6th inning wasn't really too telling of that, as now the second one goes out. Third one is fouled back, though. He's able to get a strike on the board. Count rose to 2-1. Smith tried to stay some sort of consistent, be the first Turks pitcher to try to find that, as now that slow rolling one does not stick back into the strike zone, as now the count reads 3-1. Might be the 11th walk now. It's threatening to be it as Smith deals. That one low, and Wagner is able to trot his way back to first. The 11th walk here given up by the Turks. And now Alexander, home run threat, steps back up to plate with 0 away and 1 on.
Yeah, it still looks like Evan Smith is still missing that zone. I mean, last inning we saw him drive in 2 runs just on walks with the bases loaded. He just still hasn't got his feet underneath him so far.
Just sheer confusion from the mound for the Turks as that one. Alexander sits another one to left, and that's going to bounce in in front of Jalen Lee. Only a single keeps Cole Wagner at second, and Alexander's day keeps rolling, and the Tom Sox keep rolling with 2 on, no outs. Trey Younger steps up to plate with 2 on.
Again, I mean, they're not letting Smith have any sort of, breathing room for him. I mean, when we saw him come in with the bases loaded, now we're seeing him just quickly attacking him. We know right now he's just not having the confidence to get ahead, and he strike counts. And Calvin Alexander did great there. Take that first one.
Seems like the dominance that Smith has had is coming straight back at him now, as the first delivery to Younger says the inside, but does not hit the black 1-0. He's trying to get back at Smith for his dominance. Next one is right down the middle, but fouled back by Younger.
That foul ball is
Counts
brought to you
matched
by
at
A&M
1.
Maintenance crew. You can help them out by picking up your trash tonight.
It's worth to say that we are in the 7th inning, so if 3 base runners cross home plate or Younger decides to take one over the wall, we are done here for the first game. But unless, we will keep going with a single, and now there's the bases loaded again as Smith stepped up to the mound with the bases loaded, gave up a few runs. Now we're in the same position for Matt Prevesk. 0 away, bases loaded. 11-4 is your score here in the bottom of the 7th. And now those 3 runs don't look that far away from happening now.
Yeah, especially when you take into account Prevesk in the last inning had that 2 RBI single that he turned to it later advanced for a double.
First one's taken to Prevesk, but hit right to Mamadis as 1 is away, and they were able to get 2, as that's not what you like to see, but that does score 1 for the Tom Sox. Actually, it scores 1. In the confusion, I'm a little bit blind, so didn't know if that said 12 or 13, but that does bring in 1 nonetheless, as now the Tom Sox extend their lead to 2, 1 in scoring position. Stepping up to the plate now is Brody Moss. First delivery is just hits the down and out corner of the strike zone. Hits 0-1. Not the situation you want to see with bases loaded in a double play, but nonetheless, you'll take the run. Getting more insurance out here. They lead by 8. That one curves straight back in to the outside black, and now Smith looks like he's raring now. 0-2 to Brody Moss. Working quickly. 0-2. Hit, but travels back to the parking lot in Charlottesville High School. Count stays at 0-2. Just trying to work out the timing of these fastballs now. Trying to bring in 1 more. Delivery. Down the middle, up the elevator shaft, right behind home plate. Stadler looking, and he's able to, actually he drops it. Was in the glove, and another costly mistake from the Turks. Leads Brody Moss's bat still raring. Count stays at 0-2. Just an unfortunate set of events. If Brody Moss is able to get something into the outfield in the rest of this at-bat, and Stadler will be almost the sole reason why, is it was in his gloves, overran it. Now Brody Moss gets another crack at it. Smith working again quickly, delivers. That one shits back out, try to make it curve back in, but that's outside. 1-2. Seems that little momentum that this Turks defense was able to generate after getting 2 outs and going up 0-2 is now dead, as that one kind of gets it back as the velocity is too much for Brody Moss, and that leaves him trotting back to the dugout, but not after the Tom Sox were able to get 1 across the board. It is now a 12-4 game headed into the 8th inning. This is Tom Sox baseball. we bring you to the 8th inning of this 12-4 ball game. Tom Sox lead the first place in the Valley League
Now
South
batting for the
Division.
Turks,
Harrisonburg
number 13,
Turks.
Mitch Ferris.
As now Ferris steps up to plate. Marsh stays in. Neither side has activity in their bullpen, and the first delivery of this 8th inning is just upstairs to the tall Ferris. 1-0. Decently tall, not Carter Cunningham tall, but Marsh working very quickly now as that one just outside. Good misses, but still misses nonetheless, as now count reads 2-0. Manning lead. Marsh working quickly again, and that one again another good miss, but still a miss. 3-0 reads the count, and he's trying to find the strike zone in these debatable misses. Is now that one goes straight inside. 4 pitches are thrown, and 4 pitches do not hit the strike zone, as Ferris is able to trot himself back to first base. Now stepping up is Jalen Lee.
Now batting for the Turks, left fielder.
Just
Jalen
not getting
Lee.
anything rolling in the last few innings. Haven't had a run since the 6th. Haven't had multiple runs since the 4th, where they scored 3. Gets away from Lee. The velocity of Marsh fools Lee, and now he's up in the count 0-1. Trying to get any response that they can to fight off the first game of this big lead. Marsh delivers right down the middle, swung on and taken foul straight back. Now the count reads 0-2. Marsh has found his way again. Tom Sox have tripled the run production of the Turks, almost doubled the hits, as they have 10. Turks have 6, and obviously have 0 errors on the board. Very good outing for the first game of the Tom Sox, as the first delivery from Marsh after 2 straight strikes will be a ball upstairs, 1-2. No outs, 1 on. 8th inning, 8-point lead. Marsh delivers. Outside and down, but the velocity fools Lee, as there's another one off the board. Marsh gets him looking, swung, but never had the timing of it. And now the first out is on the board here in the 8th.
Yeah, it just looks like a lot of these hitters, they just don't know what
Now
Marsh is going to
batting for the
throw at
Turks,
them. I mean, that's the
first
3rd
baseman,
strikeout,
Michael
and in
Rose
each at bat of those
Suarez.
3 strikeouts, we've seen kind of like a check swing, but they kind of still go. They're not sure what it exactly is or what exactly is coming.
Most likely the best batter on the Turks, Rosario. I mean, outside of their coveted Seaver King, but Rosario, best batting average in the South behind the plate. Count reached 1-1 with 1 out and 1 on. We mentioned before, Seaver King for the Turks, probably their most consistent batter. Game as the 1-1 is taken back to the parking lot of Charlottesville High School. Many souvenirs hit that way, as the kids are trying to hope for one that doesn't reach a windshield and actually hits the ground for them to be able to take home. But whoever has that Alexander home run is probably taking the crown prize home. But the 1-2 to Rosario hits back, and that one's right up. 4 outs to make any comeback here in the first game of this doubleheader. Still 9 innings, though.
Now batting, 3rd baseman for the Turks, number 7, Christian Ficca.
Christian Ficca steps up to bat, sophomore. Lefty versus righty matchup, 1 on, 2 outs. 8-point deficit for the Turks. Haven't found any consistency since the 4th inning. And now that curveball almost sunk right back in. Dirty nonetheless, but just upstairs. And it's 1-0. I thought that was curving straight back down.
It looked like it had for a second, but just a little bit outside for Marsh as well. He's got to be careful with Ficca. I mean, he's already had 2 extra base hits that resulted in 2 RBIs.
That splitter goes outside 2-0. Still 2 outs, though, so you don't have to worry that much. And nonetheless, you want to stymie any momentum and keep it back on your side, as it obviously is. 0-0 is swung, but hit right up into shallow right. Abrams able to put away the 3rd out of the 8th inning. We're down to the last inning and the last chance for the Turks to get a shot at getting 8 runs and taking it back, or Tom Sox can take 2 across in the bottom half of the 8th and send us into the 2nd game after a half-hour break. But we'll see if the Tom Sox can keep their offense rolling. This is Tom Sox baseball.
Sox fans looking around the Valley League.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Tom Sox lead the Harrisonburg Turks 12-4. Sheer dominance from both sides of the plate, as Tom Sox, as Tucker like to put it in the breaker, throwing out the white flag, sending out catcher/outfielder Carlos Perez to pitch out here for the Turks, trying to not get 2 runs across the board and have at least a shot at coming back. As Luke Nadkarni, usually in this play-by-play seat, likes to say, baseball is not like football and basketball. There's no time clock. You have to get every out. And with the Tom Sox being up by 8 points, is going to be a Cinderella story, but as they look to keep their all hot offense at bay, as Gavin Abrams stepped up to the plate for the first delivery from Perez. Low and outside, 1-0. Tom Sox have not scored no runs in an inning since the 4th inning, as the second, and that goes the first out of this 8th inning. Kyle Edwards stepping up to the plate now against Perez.
Kyle Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you talked about, too, with the white flag thing. I mean, I said during the break, but, I mean, we've seen it in the past. I mean, it looks like it's just kind of like to preserve arms. You know, we're at the end of this 9-inning game, and then they still got another 9-inning game. You don't know what's going to happen at the second one. So you just kind of want to preserve as much of your arms and your bullpen as you can, especially we're going towards the end of the season. We had every team's had a lot of games have been postponed. So now that a lot of teams have back-to-back games, all that kind of stuff. So you want to preserve those arms for down the road to get the best position you possibly can in the standings.
Perez working so quickly. First pitch able to hit the strike zone. Second one was low. Third one fouled back down the third base line by Kyle Edwards. Is now getting inertia in that arm. Another one very slow and very upstairs across the eye line of Kyle Edwards. Count reads 2-2.
It's a little loft there.
It looks like he's very not used to being a pitcher, as now the count runs full as that one's low. He's back now. That one's hit deep by Kyle Edwards, but again, Snare's able to get under it. 2 outs for now. Christian Martin is now, TJ Williams is now stepping out to center field instead of Sam Schnare. Gumpf moves over to right field. And that reads the substitutions for the Turks as Schnare's Perez still with Tom Sox, and now count matched at 1.
You know, you mentioned it earlier. We've seen Christian Martin go yard, has 3 on the year, and these last 2 batters don't have the biggest bats in the world. They can get contact, but they're not going to go long, and they both hit deep shots at T.J. Williams center field.
Perez hit a ball, but that one's hit straight center, a little bit shaded towards second base and Mamadas, but Martin able to get it through to center field and back out to T.J. Williams. Puts one on the board with 2 outs for Carter Cunningham. Power hitter once again to step back up, reclaim his throne from Alexander. As now there's 1 on, and he could end this first game right here in this 8th inning and put a comeback to bed. Perez checks Abrams at first, not a large lead, but again sips over, and right down the middle goes Perez. Carter looking. Count reads 0-1.
You could hear a Tom Sox dugout kind of making some going whoa in the dugout when Perez threw that pitch out. He was even smiling, it looked like.
A little bit scared him off, and that home plate towards the Tom Sox dugout. Now the count reads 1-2, maybe showing him mercy.
I mean, to be fair to Perez, I mean, now up 1-2 and it's going to count 2 outs. He might get his inning without giving up a run, which is very solid for a position player.
Might be very clear that he's not a pitcher, but that one goes over the middle and fouled back again. Another one hits to the children in the parking lot of Charlottesville High School, as it looks like Perez isn't scared to loft one over the middle to Carter Cunningham and try to end this. Might want to end it a little bit early. The bullpen of the Tom Sox hit off the fence of the dugout. Count still reads 1-2, 1 on, 2 outs. Martin on first. Very short lead. Perez dishes. Very low. Not hitting the dirt, though. And now the count reads 2-2. Christian Martin's still dirtied up from his outing in the 5th inning. Comes back up. That one's down the middle. Hit right over the head of Matthew Mamadas back to right field. Gumpf able to get under it, though, before anyone moves. An extra base. Single by Carter Cunningham brings up Cole Wagner with a man in scoring position. 2 on. First and second. 2 outs. Tom Sox up by 8 here in the 8th inning. What contact from Carter Cunningham to step out and keep this offensive run rolling.
Yeah, these last 2 at-bats have just been solid contact by Martin and Cunningham.
And that one deep hit by Cole Wagner, stretching back. And that one's over the line. Another home run comes across the board for the Tom Sox, as Cole Wagner has put this game to bed. Right over the wall, a 3-run home run. The Tom Sox take this one 15-4, as now the Turks suddenly walk off this one. What a game from the Tom Sox. A walk-off home run, another multiple RBI game from Cole.
Also clarify, this wasn't it's still great. Either way, though, I mean, at the end of the day for the Turks, I think they just want to get out this game. You can see Perez at the end just throwing his glove on the ground in a goofy gesture. I mean, Tom Sox, like we've talked about before, Sox are hot, man. I mean, we've seen they had double-digit walks. They were just great discipline at the plate, walking 12 times on the day. The Calvin Alexander home run, the Cole Wagner home run. They were just getting everything. Offensively, everything is working for this team. And it's just been so hard for opposing teams to slow down. And now the Tom Sox on a 5-game win streak. Just the offense is rolling. The hits are coming, and they're just getting on a consistent basis.
Just what a day. We mentioned in a break one time that Cole Wagner was kind of stagnant at 22 RBIs, 4 in the first game today. And he steps back up again to get 26 to tie Jalen Lee for the Turks for that 4th place spot. Ferris still ahead at 27, De Los Santos at 28, and Seaver King, if he wants to step out for the second game and make his return from the injury list, at 29. But Cole Wagner again ending this game in a walk-off, technically, quote-unquote, gets that 10-run inning, the second time that the Tom Sox are able to do it. Gets revenge for the Tom Sox getting 10 run in a shutout in Harrisonburg. And now we look to the second game of this doubleheader, and you'll see more new faces. Our own Will Trout will come in for color, but that'll do it for us. Tucker, what do we need to do to keep this momentum going into the second game before we sign off and get to this break?
It's as simple as just simply getting on base. I mean, we saw in the losing streak, this team wasn't getting on base. They weren't disciplined to plate. They weren't getting the hits. They only had 6 hits in those 2 games that they lost before all the postponements. And now they're getting those hits. I mean, today they had 13 hits. Yesterday's game, they had 18. These guys are just rolling at the right time. They got to keep that offensive firepower rolling for them. Probably not going to see Cole Wagner. So, I mean, we're going to see some new faces, but the offense has got to stay at the top of their game that they have been.
We've got a little insider trading that said that 15-4 game against 2 playoff teams in the Valley League South for Tucker Myers. I'm Joe Callahan Jr. signing off. We'll be back for another game, the second half of this doubleheader. Still 9 innings brought to you. And for anyone listening on the broadcast that wants to come out for the second game, free admission is, as always, brought to you by Carter Bacon Trust, and we will see you in a half hour for the second game beginning. This is Tom Sox Baseball. Thank you for listening.